The team members in the hoodie, in the doorway with a pistol. That's protocol when Hussle pull up. Why didn't follow the protocol? I wasn't there. Why they didn't follow it? From my understanding, old boy walked up with no shirt on first to check the scene because he know what's going on in that parking lot. Probably seen nobody was in the doorways. Checked Hussle had on shorts. Checked everybody else. They say came back with a red shirt.
Ain't never in the door with the hoodie and with the things like that. that never been my job.
Cowboy, was he really the blueprint to Nipsey, his mentor? Or was he mad at his little homie succeeded at all the dreams he failed at? Or was he just a poisonous snake, jealous and envious like Big U? And if you didn't know, Big U is Cowboy's big homie.
How did you meet Big U?
Oh, he's always my big homie, just in the hood. He was the big homie, you know what I mean? Since I was a little kid growing up, watching the big homie, Big U, Eddie Boy, Slep Rock, Mad Ronnie, you know, Banker T, Nicky Bam. These are all my big homies, you know, you little kid, you see the big homies, you know what I mean? It was all big homies.
See, Cowboy doesn't have a problem talking back to Blacc Sam, but he defends Big U every chance he gets.
Well, regardless to me or with Big U, when I heard any information concerning me or Big U, it was never a question about Big U. I know Big U loved them. Big U always had money. Big U, so it was never no question. I never questioned that I know that really had love for them. And if you look at everything, nobody benefits from Nip's death. Nip and his family was running the business. It wasn't like he was up under some record label and he had all these different partners. You know, it was just him, his brother, and his family. You know, Nip led the ship itself, so nobody benefits. So when Nip passing, okay, his family got everything. That's
right. So
nobody benefits. Big U ain't getting no dollar out of Nip's passing and making some money. No, when nobody. Why would I still be on Crenshaw selling T-shirts after Nipsey's passing? Why would, you know, who does that?
See, just like Big U, Cowboy tries to take credit for everything Nipsey did.
I ain't blueprint like Nip watched my blueprint. I had a blueprint coming off from prison. I explained to Nip, okay, look, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. He ran with it. And he took it further than I thought. I knew he was gonna be big. I knew he was gonna go around the world.
Who you think came up with the name Nipsey Hussle? According to Cowboy, it was him.
We had a big impact on Snoop Dogg's case as well. We sat there and we protested in front of the criminal courthouse building. You know.
Wow.
So when I met Nip, he was like my young Snoop. You know what I mean? So even when he got the name, I hear a lot of people talking about how Nip got his name and all that stuff. I remember being in the studio and I was like cracking my jokes like, man, you're gonna be Lil Snoop Dogg. We're gonna call you this. At the time, his name was E. We called him E Money, and we called him That was his name, you know. So we were trying to figure out what his rap name was gonna be. So, you know, we're selling the bootleg movies, so we always sold the bootleg movies, and so I'm in there cracking jokes and we're trying to figure out his name. And then you look at what the bootleg movie was playing in the background. It was Black Dynamite was playing in the background, and you hear him come in, he kicked the door, he said, "Tell that mother Nipsey I'm looking for him." And that's when Nip looked at me, and we looked at each other, and he was like, Hustle. That's how we came up with the Nipsey Hussle. So if you look at the movie, the Black Dynamite, and it's a character, that's Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, wow.
And they always say, oh, it's Nipsey Russell and all that, but now, we used to sell those bootleg movies, and
wow.
And I think it may be me, him, and China was there when came up with the name.
But let Nipsey tell it. You don't even hear Cowboy being mentioned in the story when they came up with the name.
That was given to me. I ain't come up with that. I ain't gonna take credit. Baby Gooch gave me that name. Just on some like clown. I came in the spot with a stack in my pocket, a big chain on, and you know what I'm saying, some weed and a bottle for the homies. We've been in the studio for a couple weeks doing bad. You know what I'm saying? Him being a older. Just joking around like Nipsey Hussle. Start laughing, everybody laugh. I didn't even know who Nipsey Hussle was. But I just like how it sound, you feel me? I was doing music already, so I ain't really had no moniker I went by. I was just Nip, or whatever, Arm, whatever my real I used to go by. But what stuck, man.
Okay. If you let Cowboy tell it, he's the reason why Nipsey made it. And the Marathon store probably wouldn't be here without him.
From prison in 03, met Nip, you know, got into the studios, bought a computer. We learned how to do a little music, learned the Pro Tools. they would let me rap in certain studios, and I would see him not rapping. I say, man, why you not rapping? But he wasn't a part of their group, and at that time he wasn't officially from the hood. You know, so I seen a lot of me in him.
Yeah, so after Nip passed, I really got into the t-shirts more. I went to prison, I did drugs, I fell off. Nip and them kept going. So I was one of the first to start it, but a lot of that middle, I missed. You know, I was on another path, you know, I missed. So I was like the last piece of the puzzle.
See, this is why you don't do hard drugs, because the effects could last a lifetime. Because in the next clip, he says when he was first introduced to Nipsey already was rapping and got like 30, 40 songs.
Well, he was sitting in one of my sessions, and when I came out of the session, I asked him why he wasn't rapping. He told me he wasn't a part of the crew. So I asked him what we needed, and then we got the equipment, you know. Then he had already had some music that was tight. He had did a song with Cuzzy, and I'm like, man, why this ain't out? Nip already had 30, 40 songs that was all bangers, you know what I mean? I'm just the one that grabbed them and started putting them out. Eventually, the equipment got stolen and those songs were lost. So luckily, I put them out. And that's why we still got them to this day.
Now I'm confused, Cowboy. Which one is it? And I'm also confused about Cowboy saying that he never wanted to be a rapper. He never wanted to do music. He always wanted to do comedy.
I never dreamed of being a rapper. So when I met Nip, it was easy for me just to sit it down and focus on him, you know, because that was never my dream. I always wanted to do comedy.
Well, congrats, Cowboy. Somehow you did both with this one.
I got all kind of sticks.
I wish quit acting hard. Our politics like we on a level 4 yard. I seen the hard reaching for the bars. Big swole, had him calling for the guards. Off them high meds, I laid down the yard. Beating on them bus, they say I was reaching for.
See, now you just playing in everybody's face and think that we all stupid. See, when Nipsey got signed, Cowboy, we know you've been trying to do music your whole life. You even said it in the same interview.
I would imagine if my mom would have bought me those guitars and them drums and all that I wanted when I was a kid, you know, I would have been a great musician, you know, but I learned music late. So I always had it in me, but like I said, I wrote 300-400 songs before I even knew what bars were.
Cowboy was trying to get signed too. That same demo tape Nipsey was on, he said he was on too.
We say, okay, before Nip even blew up, when Big U and Steve LaBelle rolled up on me. When they rolled up on me, I want to say 06, when they rolled up on me. And so prior to that, I did a video and I showed it to Big U, and it was me and Nip on it. Nip had some hard video on it.
See, now with all this lying, I think I figured it out. See, Cowboy always wanted to do music. Cowboy never gave up his rap dreams.
Run it back, run it back. Neighborhood Care Music, what's up, Yeah, live on Crenshaw. Yeah. I hits pull up, hit the stack. What's up? Hey.
Early morning.
Hey.
Wake and bake.
Hey.
I hit Blacc Sam, so you know it's a cake.
Hey.
I'm a marathon runner, so I can't be late.
Hey.
I know I beat straight today to crack the gates.
Whoa.
Yeah, rolled up in that 7:45. That's a 7:45 for you. Hey. Now I'm at the past them steps and tell little mama. Lean, styrofoam cup. Catch me in the hood with the tiny loads pouring up. And everybody know I've been going up. In every hood function I be showing up. I'm a hood, watch me throw it up. When I'm on the dance floor, I do my stuff. Lean to the side, like what? Purple in the cup got me turned right up. Now I'm at the bar and I'm breaking down bars. Mixing up drinks and baby joy.
But nobody took Cowboy serious. Nip was in position, and that's his little homie. He ain't putting him on. He's sweeping his store. I was on the fence about Cowboy being jealous and envious, but when he told this story right here, I said, nah. He's either a great actor or he a real-life Crip angel.
Everything that I wanted to do, I did it through him. I did it. You know, it was never no jockeying for position or nothing. I lived it through him. When I wanted a restaurant, I said, I seen the fish house, and I talked to the mom. I talked to the Chinese lady, and I said, I want to buy your restaurant. And she's like, oh yeah, give me 30,000, 40,000. They just casually said it. I said, hold that thought. I ran next door. I tell Blacc Sam and Nip. I said, hey man, they want to sell me the restaurant, 30,000, 40,000 or whatever. Monday morning, Blacc Sam had the keys.
Wow.
You feel me? You know, and I'm like, damn, they got my restaurant, you know. But then he said, tell me, go to Home Depot, get the floor, go do this, go get the equipment. So I didn't have a restaurant, but I had a restaurant.
See, this is why I knew something was up, because ain't no damn way you asked for a loan, but instead they told you to get the wood and do the floors, and you still happy about it. Man, stop playing, Cowboy. Cowboy forced himself back into All Money In. Nip was just looking out like, hey, you do a little something here and there, I could throw you some dollars. But he really wasn't thinking about putting Cowboy back on the team like that.
I mean, they would, wherever they went, I would just pop up. I never announced that I was coming. If he was in Louisiana, I'd just show up. You know, in Washington, D.C., I'd be in the parking lot, you know. So all the spots I popped up, they'd laugh when they see me pop up. I'd just pop up out the blue. Like, man, what you doing out here? I said, I'm on tour with you. What you mean? What you mean what I'm doing out here, you know?
Oh, hell no. A crackhead big homie with freaking flyer miles? That's the only thing you can't hide from. Besides God and the IRS, Nip already had his team, and it was too solid. Cowboy just sweeping in the corner, giving that evil eye, the whole time plotting. See, when Cowboy came back, Nipsey gave him a broom and said, do your thing. He gave all the old crackheads a job like that. In his mind, he was showing them love. You could be out there messed up, no job, no money or nothing. Do something and I'm gonna give you some money. Wipe the windows down. But when Sam come back, oh man, it's a Hollywood movie.
Hey, come on, man. Come on, you know I gotta talk some shit. $100,000 bond. Nigga, we on the motherfucking jet. $1 million bond. Oh, excuse me. $100,000 loss. $1 million bond. On the motherfucking jet. What you talking about? We in Vegas,
Blacc Sam in that new thing, 017, feel me?
Whoa.
Big body, backseat recline, TVs and all that. Yeah.
See, when Nipsey first passed, I said Cowboy's the only real one out here. He giving up his whole rep for Nipsey. He's gonna take the stand and get labeled as a rat just cause he loved Nipsey so much. But if you look a little closer, that love he shows for Nipsey is looking a little funny in the light. Let's forget about, ironically, how Eric Holder was running away. He just happened to be coming out. And the way Cowboy speaks about Nipsey, you would think that it was his blood little brother. But when Nipsey was on the ground, I don't know, it just didn't seem like he was trying his best to keep Nipsey alive. Hey, some say he was even tapping the pockets a little bit, allegedly. The footage is too fuzzy, you can't really tell. But forget about that though. But why not even 5-10 minutes after, Cowboy is already doing an interview about how it all went down. It's like he was prepared for this.
Like I said, I regret leaving this side for that 5 seconds that I left this side. That's my homie across the back. He left the side. That's what there was no reason.
I've been there from day one. We started off selling CDs in the trunk of the car 16 years ago, and we just purchased the building, just bought the whole building. So
actually joined now by Cowboy, a friend of Nipsey's who was inside for the memorial. Thanks for being here, Cowboy. As I understand, you said you were actually there at the Marathon clothing store the night that Nipsey got shot. What can you tell us about that night, and what do you remember?
Just a lot of emotions going on. The whole city's erupted. We all...
And it's not one, it's interview after interview. Even when Nipsey's family and team asked Cowboy, come on man, you doing too much. You can't just chill now, Cowboy? Okay, maybe he was trying to get the word out for Nipsey. But remember when Blacc Sam said, if it don't got the marathon tag.
The tag ain't marathon, the Crenshaw crew neck is a knockoff. And that was genius. And so now people like, yeah, that's, if it ain't got the marathon on it, it ain't the real one.
See, I think I might have been mistaken. I said that was towards Big U, but that might have been more towards Cowboy, because right after Nipsey died, he's already selling his own t-shirts in front of the Marathon store. I mean, it looked like the whole hood was doing it, so, you gotta cut him some slack. But Cowboy is selling straight knockoffs of what Nipsey was selling, with no shame. I don't think the proceeds was going to Nipsey's family either.
How's Cowboy business, though? I don't know, man. You gotta go ask Cowboy. I don't support them name Cowboy business nigga. All money in. It ain't got nothing to do with Nip Hussle. If it doesn't have the marathon tag, it's a knockoff. And y'all caught me on the day, because normally I don't even respond like that. But I'm gonna tell you today, no. And all that flossing, all that down in front of our shop, we don't. If it don't got the marathon tag, it's a knockoff. So if y'all go support that, no disrespect, because y'all could support whoever y'all want to support. I'm not telling y'all to only support us, but just know when y'all, if y'all trying to support us, and y'all go buy that, I'm supporting us. It's all knockoffs. We don't.
I ain't doing something they ain't supposed to be doing. I think start rolling up and start beating up. That's what I would do if I felt somebody was disrespecting me or disrespecting something that I was doing. I would roll up and just beat. That's what I do. You know what I mean? So I come down here and see who doing what. Come beat some feeling some type of way. Come down here and whoop. You see some that's out of line. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, all that I Love Nipsey stuff went out the window, huh? And not only that, check out how he answered this fan when he was asking about marathon t-shirts.
Hey man, you got I be seeing you got that fly ass Nip gear on, man. You got a website or something? You got how am I supposed to get some of that?
The memorabilia, like I said, a little memorabilia like that. They got some at slaughteralley.com. If you want real marathon clothing, you can go to marathon.com and get you the real marathon gear too. So
yeah, I got some of that, but I'm trying to get some of them tees, you know what I'm saying? Just little regular t-shirts I've been seeing people with.
Oh, right. Yeah, I got that type of scenes like that. You know what I mean? Or go to slaughteralley.com, check them out right there.
See that right there? Now that's crazy work, Cowboy. We watching you now. And what was you doing with them guys in the alley, huh, Cowboy? Nah, this don't look right. And not only that, like Big U, why does Cowboy keep lying about what happened with Nipsey? Because it's not adding up. 1 minute he says Eric Holder was never a threat.
It wasn't like it was known information like okay, this dude is telling or whatever it may be. So even if he was telling, just escorted him out the parking lot. Like, hey, bro, you know, like if Nip would have had words with him, if Nip would have been like, oh man, this right here, we'd have escorted him out the parking lot. But he shook our hands, conversated. There was no degree of animosity, no degree of nothing. It was surprising to everybody.
So they wasn't worried. They let the guards down. They never thought that Eric would do what he did. But then the next minute he says he heard Eric was rolling around, hopping out with the burners out on the homies.
So the day before he did something to Nipsey, he had jumped out on some homies earlier that day. He drew out a pistol. Feel me? Jumped out on some. They had packed him out before he went and did whatever he had to do. He had got beat up. They beat his ass. So he came over there looking.
Remember when Cowboy said there's nothing to gain from Nipsey dying, especially from him and Big U. The family got it. Then how come after Nipsey died, you gained a whole lot more than you ever have, Cowboy?
Somebody knows something. Pull up though. I got a reward. Pull up. Y'all know something? Pull up. Pull up. Who knows something about what went down? Pull up. Pull up. Come get some of these bing bangs. Come get some of these bing bangs. You haters. The more these bing bangs stack up. Y'all understand that? The more we out here stacking these bing bangs. You see that? You want to join the bing bang team? Them ain't nothing but bing bang. Yeah, somebody let me know who done this so weird. Bing bangs in your pocket.
So you mean to tell me the last moments of Nipsey's life, it was you, who's still friends with Big U, there's cousin Kerry, who's also been lying and real close to Big U, and Eric Holder, who coincidentally showed up calling Nipsey a snitch. Oh nah, I got the whole setup, allegedly. There's about 60 pieces, but I just put it together. See, rumor is that cousin Kerry called Nipsey down to the shop for some t-shirts. He said he just got out, which is the reason why Nipsey went down to the shop all of a sudden without telling anybody. Man, check out cousin Kerry's story. First, he said he randomly saw Nipsey at the store and that he just got out, and then he switches it up and said, nah, I didn't know Nipsey was gonna be there. And he also said he got out 7 months ago. And check out Big U interrupting also. It seemed like cousin Kerry wasn't getting the story right.
So did you know of Nipsey before while you were locked up before or any of that sort?
At all. Not at all.
At all. Got it.
Somebody
Okay.
gave me a couple of pictures, say, hey, that's the new rapper. I said, is that right? Yeah. So when I got out, I took a selfie with him. He's a celebrity. Everybody's taking selfies. Let me take one.
Day of the incident. Can you describe what happened exactly?
Me and my nephew were going up the street to console somebody else's parents because they just lost their parents. So he said, you don't have to keep wearing that shirt, Unc. I was like, what? He said, this shirt. I said, it's clean. He said, look, it's dingy. You in the new world. You're not in prison no more. You can pull right. He said, matter of fact, there go Nipsey in the lot, so you could pull right in and grab you a fresh white shirt. I'm like, okay. So when I go in there, they didn't have the white ones that I wanted. And I said, when y'all gonna get that in again? He said, well, there go Nipsey in the lot. Go talk to him. And I talked to him. He said, that'll be about a week, bro. I said, okay. And when I said it, it was all bad.
Okay, because I guess what, you know, this is why I kind of want to clarify this with you on the phone. Like, the story that was circulating was that you and Nipsey knew each other and he was meeting you down there to give you some clothes and you guys had some sort of prior relationship. But what you're saying is that you had no idea, you know, you guys didn't know each other at all. You just showed up and you ran into each other randomly.
No, I know him because I took a few pictures with him.
Right.
Like that. But so the parole officer was like, well, you have gang affiliation. I said, look, man, I know Nipsey about as much as I know you. You my parole officer. I met you. We've talked a few times. That's as far as I know him.
Yeah.
Now, when I first came home, Nipsey heard that I was home, and he filled up my little sister's backseat of her car.
This Big U, Nipsey, he always look out for people when they come home. You know what I mean? He don't always be at the store all the time. But if he at the store and somebody just paroled, he don't have to know him to look out for him. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
He'll hear somebody that just came home, and he might tell somebody that's working in the store that day, you know, look out for the homie, he just came home. That's just what kind of person he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's very important in this whole situation. That this is what Nipsey was just doing for everybody that was just coming home. Everybody.
Yeah.
How I think it went down, allegedly, cousin Kerry got Nipsey to go down to the shop. And remember, Eric Holder was asking if Nipsey was a snitch. Where's the only other place he heard that at? The only other place I heard that at was Wack saying that Big U was using that against Nipsey to get back in the circle.
So, your name was Dahmer. Dahmer came over there to get out with Nip. Cuz you was my nigga, go to jail. Come to find out, you telling my baby mama, don't answer my phone calls, don't send me nothing. It's you and her, all this. You start, it's 6-0, we got to get out. Dahmer jump out. Nipsey didn't want to fade, Ghost. He didn't want to get out with Dahmer. Boy, Eddie Boy was telling, I get out with him. They lock up. Boom, 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 boom. Eddie Boy whooped Dahmer. Knock his tooth out, all that. Dahmer come back smoking. Right? Kill him. Behind it. Right? Dahmer go to jail for the body. They questioning Nipsey, and Nipsey said, if somebody do something to me or something, I come up dead, Dahmer did it. Or they snatched Dahmer. Big U had that recording and used that to make the move. That's when you seen all the victory lap with him. Nipsey was playing his hand. Somebody was gonna go one way or another. This is a fact.
And check this out. Nipsey knew cousin Kerry was on parole. Eric Holder showed up shirtless, gang tats and all. So really, Nipsey was looking out for cousin Kerry when Eric Holder popped up. He wasn't saying, no, go handle that like Cowboy said. He was saying, yo, you gotta go. You gotta get out of here. Because cousin Kerry's there on parole. And if they catch him, he's going back in. So he's just telling Eric Holder, hey, you gotta go. Somebody told Eric Holder that Nipsey was a snitch. Hey, don't let Nipsey talk to you like that. You know he's a snitch too, right? I got the recording. And Cowboy walks in at the perfect time, right? 3 seconds, right? He just walked in like everything was cool, right? Big U shows up too, right? He said Eric was hopping out with the pose, upping it on people. He wasn't a threat. Man, fuck here. See, but that's not enough for the setup. I don't think Big U is smart enough for that. There's another entity involved. Y'all guess who it is. See, Nip was supposed to have a meeting that following day with the LAPD. He's been getting harassed for years. The LAPD has been trying to run him out. I mean, Cowboy know this.
We had a couple cops, you know. We had cops that would roll by. We policed ourselves, you know. When Nipsey was living, we didn't have no violence in the parking lot. You know, if there was some, we controlled it ourselves and we'd take care of it. So the police had no reason to be there. So if they did come in the parking lot, they came, you know, to either with somebody or mess with the homies. I remember Nipsey had a warrant one time, and the police had pulled up in there, and it was a Maybach parked right there. So they asking us, whose Maybach is that? We like, man, we don't have no idea who Maybach is that. And they thought we were lying. They're like, that ain't Nipsey Maybach. We like, no, that ain't Nip Maybach. We don't know whose it is. Them motherfuckers told it. So they go get the Maybach and they tow it. So the next day, Nip pull up in his Maybach. Bam, they rushing. You know what I mean? They towed the car, said he had a warrant, took him to jail. So he went to jail, but in the process of that, he got the tickets cleared up. He had a show in Japan, and he was able to go do the show. So everything they did to over us, it turned out to be to the good. Nipsey would call the landlord and ask him could they buy the building. Landlord kept saying no, we don't want to sell. We don't want to sell. So Nipsey and them would call him, keep calling him, said no, we want to buy the building. We want to buy the building. So the police kept calling the landlord as well. And they kept telling him, kick him out the building, kick him out the building. There's only 8 buildings, I think 8 units in that building. And at the time we occupied 6 of them. So he's trying to get us, the police were trying to get us kicked out of the building. And then another incident that happened, I think the homies had boop bops in the parking lot. They called the owner and said, look, you got to get him out of there. Owner called back and said, you know what, we're going to sell it.
Even a former member of the LAPD said it could be possible. He wouldn't put it past them.
Do you think that there could have been more people involved with Nipsey's death? Maybe even perhaps law enforcement? Do you have any thoughts about that?
I think that there could have been. I've never witnessed any. I've never witnessed any law enforcement officers say that there was something going on or even alluded to it. But there's that possibility. We know a lot of the positive things that he was doing in the community. So there's definitely that possibility that they were that determined to stop what he had going on. That they probably could have sent Eric, what's his last name?
Holder. Junior.
to go and do that. And I think also they said that he was an informant for law enforcement, and that was I think that was a part of the issue that he had with Nipsey Hussle.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So we don't know. We don't know what kind of what was going on behind those closed doors. It could have just been that it was a bad day for Eric Holder, and he was mad, or there could have been something deeper behind it.
Cowboy didn't even give it a second thought before dismissing it, even though he knew how dirty they were. Something don't seem right.
Any comment on that?
Nah, say for instance the police did that. Ain't you gonna try to get away? So if the police gave you some bread, look, go do that. You're gonna put a mask on, you're gonna run around, handle your business and get away. So if you in it for the money, you're gonna try to go spend the money. Cuz was just high and he tripped out, It has something to do with that CD. He had jumped out earlier, like a day before that, and he asked the homie, like, it's a homie named Felony. He introduced me to Nipsey. That's really introduced me and brought Nip to my studio, introduced me to Nip. You know what I mean? He was the first. I had Felony in the studio, and I had seen Nip, but he's the first one that brought Nip to me. You know what I mean? So Felly fell. Eric had jumped out and asked him to check out this disc. Like, man, I got my new disc. Did you hear it? And bro was like, nah, I ain't heard it. But he said he had the 2 pistols with him. And he told me, I learned this during the murder trial. He had popped up one day during the murder trial. So he said, man, I felt if I wouldn't have listened to this disc, this gonna do something to me. So he said, I listened to the disc. So then after all this played out, and as I think back, I remember when he was talking to me and Nip, after Nip was like, take care of that shit. He was like, man, y'all heard my disc. And we like, get it? Huh?
And check this out. And for those that still got their memory, the day Nipsey died, we got them notifications early. I remember like tweets going around that Nipsey was shot, and it was early in the afternoon, but it wasn't confirmed till later in the day. Y'all don't want to hear this, but you sweethearts might owe Luce an apology.
Wrong information. 30 minutes later, the homies blowing me up like they just killed Nipsey. And so I'm like,
Wait. You get a call from Big U telling you Nipsey just got killed.
Yeah.
You panic, call Nip. Nip answer the phone.
Yep, and
you
we
like
were just talking on regular, so it's like at the end of the day, I didn't even think about it.
Because cousin Kerry and Cowboy testified that they arrived and everything happened around 1 p.m.
Do you recall approximately what time you arrived at the store? No, about around 1? Around 1? Something like that. It was in the afternoon, right? Yeah.
You know, I have no idea, but it had to be around lunchtime because I had just ordered my lunch. So I normally take my lunch. Around 1, so I'm not really sure of the exact time though.
Now, the official time of his death was 3-something p.m. There's one thing that could solve that problem, the missing camera footage from the store when Cowboy was working that day. But now all of a sudden, Cowboy don't know what happened to it. He's not talking. Come on, what we doing, Cowboy? You selective snitching now? I mean, if you gonna snitch for Nip, go all the way. Or maybe was it just a front?
It wasn't no tape. The only tape is that gas station tape. So, you know, the gas station, you know, we had cameras in the store, but it was to watch the parking lot. It was to watch. It wasn't to watch the employees. It wasn't to watch people stealing. We didn't have that problem. We didn't have no worry about nobody stealing nothing. It was more or less, we need to watch the parking lot, make sure the police ain't doing nothing stupid, make sure homies ain't out there fighting. You know, when you're just sitting in your shop and you're in the back room, you need to look out and see what's going on out on Slauson, what's going on, you know. So anytime something goes down in the neighborhood, what the police gonna do? They're gonna go to the closest shop and say, we need to look at your tapes.
Yeah.
So we never had tape. There's so much crime, you know, homies beating up homies in the parking lot. You might do something stupid, get slapped or something. So we didn't have tapes for that. We didn't have no videotapes for that reason as far as so even if they did have a videotape, say all the cameras were running and they were all recording, all it's gonna do is show a different version of what happened. We all seen what happened, you know, the videotape seen what happened, you understand? So no matter how many cameras was out there that day, it wasn't gonna change what happened.
It sounds like they needed a couple extra hours to clean up the mess. Man, shout out to Marathon Kev, man. He got Cowboy to read a message about why'd you testify the events happening at 1 p.m. and now y'all switching it up to 3 p.m. Cowboy looked like he saw a ghost reading this message.
Yeah, but we like that though, for sure.
And you know the LAPD recently has admitted they had secret investigations on Nip and his whole crew, especially around the area of the Marathon store. They've been trying to get him out for years. And the saddest part about this, and Nipsey knew he had a lot of jealousy and envy around him, he still stuck around long enough for them to kill him.
The pressure of people intentionally waking up to try to bring harm your way. You know what I mean? To try to stop you from doing that. Because if I grew up on the same block you grew up on, we had the same trials and tribulations, but you became successful and I became a failure, it made me feel a certain way about myself. Because we had the same, we were dealt the same deck of cards. You know what I mean? So I feel like my success affect the people closest to me the most. A person that don't know me might root for me, you know what I mean, and be happy for me. The person that know me and come from the same environment and had the same cards dealt to them, that keep going to jail, don't have no money, never made their parents proud or their mama proud, never did anything that they could look in the mirror and be proud of. You know what I mean?
Straight evil. Man, I knew something was up the day Cowboy took Nipsey's mural down.
Homie, you know what I mean? That's my friend. That's my friend. So for me to have to cover it up, it hurt me.
But how you take Nipsey's mural down and leave yours up?
Nipsey murals everywhere. I get right here, I'm like, why the f do he got a mural? Why y'all got Cowboy? But y'all will put anything on the wall. Like,
oh, nah. Let me know what you guys think, man. Am I tripping? Or do you guys see the same thing I see? Oh, no, we're not done yet. Hey, remember Big U said he had nothing to do with Fats, right? He was out of town. Well, Bricc said, don't tell Cowboy about that Fats situation, or he'll tell him that too.
R.I.P. Fats. I'm 6'0". Don't tell nobody about out and tell. On 6-0, don't tell Cowboy about the fat shit, because he'll around and tell.
Hey, what I found out after this, it might be the nail in the coffin. I don't know. You guys might want to stick around. Subscribe, like, comment, and stay tuned. Let's get it. Cause I get it poppin' like a pill popper. Then I go viral like a TikToker. Your girl on my can't stop her. I call her shitty cause she a hood hopper. Hell nah, Cowboy is fire.